Orioles fans are livid because of what this guy, Jeff Hoffman, did after the game, and Mike Elias has some tough choices to make as the Orioles continue to sink in not only the MLB power rankings, but in the standings as well. Hello, everybody. I'm Jon Leiberman on a very depressing Monday morning after a big loss, a heartbreaking loss in extras to Toronto that really exposed a lot of the Birds' issues, both at the plate, but mainly with the starting pitching and the relief pitching. We're going to get to all of that. We're going to get to why Jeff Hoffman is now public enemy number one in Baltimore, and we're going to break down all things pitching and try to see, and I'm going to ask you what needs to be done to try and get this ball club back on track. Please, you can like, you can subscribe, all of the things, because we're going to be here all season long. But without further ado, why is Jeff Hoffman public enemy number one for the Orioles now? Or maybe you don't think so. I think most of you know by this point, Hoffman and the Birds in the offseason agreed to a 3-year, $40 million deal. But the Birds backed out of it because after his physical, there were concerns about his throwing shoulder. And Atlanta did the same thing. He had a deal with Atlanta. They backed out too. So doctors saw something with the throwing shoulder. And as you know, Hoffman ended up signing a 3-year, $33 million contract with the Jays. He faced the Orioles yesterday. He got the win, and after the win, let me show you the video of what he did. Not this, but let's watch what Hoffman did after the win. Okay, you celebrate a little, and then he blew a kiss to the Birds dugout. Just as that video was ending, he blew a kiss to the Orioles dugout, and people are livid. He turned right to the dugout, blew the kiss, and that was it. Now, you may say, it's okay. The guy has beef. He's a competitor. He got the win. And I would probably tell you that if you look at his numbers, I don't know about any injury he has, but if he does, he's masking it pretty well. He's now 2-0 in the season with a sub-1 ERA, a .64 whip, and 13 Ks in 9 1/3 innings. So, look, and he was, he was booed as he walked to the mound when he came in by Birds fans. And then again, he gets the final out. He's very excited, and he kind of smiles at his catcher and then looks over and blows a kiss to the Birds dugout. What do you think about it? Do you not care? Do we have bigger fish to fry? And actually, indeed, we do have bigger fish to fry. Let's move on. The new MLB power rankings came out, and this is directly from the quote. The Orioles dropped to 13th. They were previously 11th, as you can see. And, this, is pretty spot on, right? It says much has been made, and for good reason, about how poor the Orioles' starting pitching has been so far. But anybody else notice the vaunted offense isn't exactly knocking the cover off the ball either? 13th in runs scored, 18th in OPS, 15th in homers, middle of the pack all the way around. And this line you just can't dispute. If the Orioles don't have one of the best offenses in baseball this year, they are in big trouble. And that last line was put on display very much so in the heartbreaking loss yesterday against the Jays, because you have to look at this. And Cade did not get out of the fourth inning. In 15 games for the Birds, the Orioles, the starter, has only completed 6 4 times. But guess what? 3 of those were from Zach Eflin. And Zach, as you know, is now on the injured list. We don't know when he's coming back. You can't win ball games like that. You can't. And look, the bullpen, Félix couldn't go 2 games in a row this weekend, which could have made a difference. But he got the save on Saturday, came in late. He couldn't pitch again Sunday. It's just how life is right now. But when the starters can't make it out of the 5th and the closer isn't available and you have to, piece things together, it's tough. And yesterday, things just got tougher yesterday. I don't want to watch this video again of Thompson. Things got tougher yesterday because Greg Soto, who has been so good so far, was good until yesterday. Cano, so good so far until yesterday. Keegan Aiken has been okay, but they all 3 struggled. And your starter doesn't get out of the 5th. Closer isn't available. Your 3, relievers who you've been counting on pretty much, along with Matt Bowman, they don't do it. Where do you turn? Where do you turn? And so, and CNL Perez has been awful. What do you think should be done right now? Tell me. Give me your ideas in the comments. For one, I want to see Brandon Young called up from the minors. He's killing it in the minors, so call him up. But also, do you believe it's time for Mike Elias to really start looking around? And there's Brandon Young. Call him up. Call Brandon Young up. Let's see what he can do. Put him in the rotation. Somebody's got to be able to go more than 5 other than Zach Eflin. We have this day off. Charlie Morton is pitching tomorrow. Morton hasn't gone more than 5. Please, hopefully he can as we start another series at home. But, who knows? And again, let me make this bigger for you. You might not be able to see all of this, but, this is the Birds pitching thus far. And, pitching to a 4.57 ERA, but when you really dig into that, and if you take the injured guys out, you take Zach out of there, that balloons to above 5, and you can't win like that. You can't win with a CNL Perez with a 16 ERA. And look, is it too early to over-panic? Yes. The Birds are only a couple games below 500. Luckily, the AL East has been pretty mediocre so far. But it's almost time to panic, and it's almost time to panic because nothing seems to be working. The starting pitching, the relief pitching has been working to a certain extent. The bats aren't doing what the bats need to do. What do you think the answer is? This is Orioles Digest. I'm Jon Leiberman. Jeff Hoffman is public enemy number 1.